welcome back to The Gloves Are Off. It's time for us to continue on with Dump and Change. And remember, if either of you do not like a topic or you just don't want to talk about it, you can dump it and change, and we will go on to the next one. Next one, though, that we are going to talk about is this Sean Avery versus Uptown Hockey Management. This kind of broke late last night. Now, Sean Avery obviously come out and openly voiced his support for gay marriage, same-sex marriage. There's a employee of Uptown Sports Management who came out and said, no, I don't support that at all. My question to both of you is, was this professional, I guess, for either one of them to take a stand on this issue and sort of I don't really want to say it's politics because maybe it's not politics, but was it professional and appropriate for either one of them to be voicing either of their opinions in the public realm?
Well, look at Sean Avery. The guy talks about anything that's on his mind. So pretty much somebody probably just asked him about it and he gave his 2 cents.
Well, you had shot a commercial. You thought
yeah.
Shot a 30-second commercial.
Yeah. Well, that's all that stuff comes up. The guy was on what? Who did he intern for? Vogue or some magazine? But it's one of those points. Like for him, maybe it's close to his heart. Maybe he wants to talk about it. But I don't think the agent had the right to shut him down or anything like that.
Now, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. This agent went on TSN Radio with James Cybulski and said, if Sean Avery is allowed to come out and voice his support, that's his opinion, I should equally be allowed to come out and voice my, I guess, non-support for the issue. So is it just a matter of freedom of speech here? What's your take, Len? Would you be comfortable if you had students at the university openly debating something like this?
I haven't got a problem with it at all, and the fact that they're talking about it is not a bad thing. I just wonder why they're talking about that. I mean, is this the biggest issue with sports agents and hockey players right now?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why do they use their public platform and their celebrity to bring this issue forward? Is this really still an issue in 2011? I don't know.
Well, clearly, I mean, there's been a lot of fallout from this, and now what I'm wondering is as an agent, let's say that you're one of his clients, do you remove yourself from being affiliated with them because now you know where he stands on this issue?
Yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of guys who are looking at him and are like, okay, like that's uncalled for, or you shouldn't have made those comments. Maybe I'll take my business elsewhere, or maybe I'll go to another agent, or it could be one of those things that ruins his career. Look at Jerry Maguire. Right, look at watching the movie, and he had all those opinions and things like that. But it's one of those, it's one of those things where almost being an agent, you almost have to walk on a thin line and just decide what comments to comment on and what things not to comment on.
Well, speaking of commenting, we have to change topics here. We got to talk about JR here, Jeremy Roenick, who I can't say a bad word about the guy because he helped me sell out the Civic Center for that Bobcats home opener, but he didn't have a problem. He did not hold back at all when he was talking about Patty Marleau's play, called it gutless. My question for both of you, as a commentator, do you have the right, or should you be knocking somebody's character, or should you just be focusing on their play? Because it seemed like he kind of crossed that line. What do you think, Glenn?
Look at JR and look at his whole career.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays the way he talks. And I'm glad he does it. I wish more commentators would come out and be more open about what they're seeing on the ice. I mean, look the way Marleau's been playing. Pointless in the series, kind of lazy on defense. I think he's trying to prop up his old teammate. I really do. He's trying to get him fired up.
Maybe I kind of like that. Maybe he's got some secret motivation here. Maybe he's calling him gutless so that he gets some fire in his belly. Who knows? But as a commentator, Shaq, I mean, you do this. You're a sports anchor. Would you be comfortable, knocking somebody's character, or should you just be sticking to their play?
I think maybe if you know the player, like in this case,
Clearly
JR knowing Patty Marleau, he knows him. So maybe he feels like he's comfortable and he can talk about that. But if it's a player maybe that he doesn't know or anything like that, I haven't maybe seen if he would maybe comment on somebody like that. But yeah, it could be like what Glenn said, fire him up, or it could be maybe challenging him, or just maybe knocking his demeanor.
Okay. I want to move on to another sort of shady character, this time in the NBA, because I'm calling this one Bad Bynum. Andrew Bynum, I hope that you saw this.
Saw the play.
So you saw the play. Now, he came out and said, they were breaking us down, so I just fouled somebody. I was just kind of salty about being embarrassed. It was embarrassing to have the smallest guy in the court keep running down the lane and making shots. So J.J. Barrett gets absolutely drilled. What should the appropriate consequence be for this? Because we know the lake show's over now.
No, he's got to be suspended. He's got to be fined.
Okay.
I mean, the guy really was stepping outside the bounds. But you got to be careful. it's playoff basketball. You go back a generation in basketball, guys were killing each other on the court. And you see it, with the stars. Chris Paul and Kobe. You saw Wade do it with Paul Pierce. Jones against Pierce in that playoff as well. You're getting some really hard fouls. Now, in the case of Bynum, it's frustration. Blatant, not called for. It's just real frustration because the team played so poorly in that series.
Which he admitted, but so we give him a little bit of credit because he did admit how stupid it was, but what would the appropriate consequence be then?
You have to suspend him.
Yeah.
Have to. I think it's one of those
First 10
things
games
where
of the next
first
season?
10, 15 games of next season, like Ron Artest in that game got kicked out of the game for an incident like a bit earlier on, and obviously they knew they were going down. And the guy's going up for a layup, and Bynum just like steps in and gives him an elbow to like the ribs. You know, it's one of those things where it's uncalled for and shouldn't have happened.
All right, another little dirty play that we got to talk about. D Wade, maybe the D now stands for Dirty Wade because we saw what happened with Rondo. I don't know if this was intentional or not. I can't decide. I've watched it over and over. If D Wade is that good at covering up the flagrant foul, I can't even speak, the flagrant foul, or if he actually meant to hurt Rondo. Like, I can't tell from watching it. What was your take on the play? Do you think he meant to hurt him, or it was just a freak accident?
No, he doesn't want to hurt him.
Okay.
This is playoff basketball. He wants to take Rondo out of the play. He knows he's going down. He wants to make sure his man's going down with him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt he tried to take him out of the play. I think there's no doubt he tried to trip him. I don't think he wanted to hurt him.
Yeah.
I think that was an accident.
What do you think? Do you think he actually, like, he was that good at covering up his intentions?
I don't think it's as dirty as the Bynum thing.
Yeah,
I have to say, you want to take out your guy. You know, it's one of those things where you want to prevent the fast break or, be way back in the play. You don't want to be doing that. But it's one of those things, it's a basketball play, and it didn't look intentional. It was just him trying to protect himself.
And it wasn't like he forced Rondo to put his arm down that way. I mean, now we know that his elbow's pretty messed up. But either way, it's kind of an interesting one. All right, well, we need to take a break, but stay tuned because when we return, it will be time to play Brian Kern's favorite game, and he's not here to play it this week. What a shame. Who Am I is next on The Gloves Are Off.